Personal Career Advice by Saw Lahkbaw, November 24th, 2021. Education, Kawthoolei, Learning Technology. Introducing you to the future that is here today. If you are searching for a field of study, I want to point you a glowing one, AI, Artificial Intelligence. This random advice is personal and probably biased. It's tailored to sons and daughters of Kawthoolei, so some discussions might not be relevant to many. This is, however, written in a universal language with humanity in mind. Choosing college major could be the most life-impactful decision. A compulsory decision made by adolescents can possibly make to the most lifelong impact on their identity, as well as social, economic, and intellectual strength, wealth, income, education, and occupation. Some youths may have already made up their mind even before they enter a college, without enough exposure to their chosen fields, like being asked a damaging "what do you want to be when you grow up" question. We are living in a new age where a single industry drives all other remaining industries. Many of the menial and tedious tasks are eliminated every day in the new industry. Wisdom of the new knowledge is constantly blooming. What happens behind the scene has more commanding power than what's traditionally seen in view. Computer science and computer programmers are often misunderstood until recently. Like computer programmers, AI has been widely misrepresented in movies. Yes, it's coming and unstoppable. AI, whether you like it or not, or whether you understand it or not, is rebellious and in a stage of unstoppable. One can stay detached, cynical, ignorant of it, and become vulnerable to its power, or learn to master it for the welfare and progress of humanity. We can't let new generations of our people, the current, destined to be victims like previous generations, while many of us have opportunity to equip ourselves and participate in the power distribution. Throughout history, people learned to use powerful machines to help them free from back-breaking tasks or that simply humanly incapable of. At the opposite edge, being in the state of incapable to control powerful machines may just create fear. Digital knowledge is empowerment. Knowledge in computer science and its application in industries is empowerment. It is a job of the wheel when you are in behind the scenes and be a part of how industries operate the ubiquitous digital information. AI is increasingly influencing our decisions and making decisions for you. If you don't learn to master it, at least the basis decision could be made for you by a nebulous master. AI is rapidly influencing our life. AI is already in our daily routine. As simple as turning on a faucet to brush your teeth, water usage pattern can be instantly analyzed by utility provider and reported back to us for environmentally unfriendly activities by comparing your normal usage and that of your neighbors. All the internet giants, Google, Facebook, Amazon, heavily rely on AI to provide services to their users. Google already anticipates what you are looking for and giving hints in search box before you type a single letter. Facebook algorithm feeds you ads pop up close enough to what you're just barely thinking of buying. A smartphone that didn't exist over a decade ago now is in everybody's hand, connecting to the supercomputer, the internet. The phone and the supercomputer always are together at work to have better analysis for you. It suggests locations to go based on your routine, giving direction to work in the morning, to home after work, to church or temple on Sunday morning. AI now acts like a personal guardian spirit, checking the patterns of one's steps and tapping on one's shoulder when they misstep. When your vehicle is dangerously close to other, it will stop you from accelerating and pull you back to save your life. You would receive an automated call from your bank for using credit card as suspicious when it is used as such. It is artificial intelligence, single task at work. Not every logic is explicitly programmed in those set up. Most industries use a semi-artificial intelligence with a combination of human and computing. AI is assisting human decision. In medicine, a typical vaccine that takes a decade to develop in a complex process now takes only a year for COVID-19 vaccine that has heavily applied artificial intelligence, integrating a network of existing research and simulating possible scenarios, the effect of vaccine. Global pandemic is tackled by global collaboration using digital technology intelligently. Cutting-edge tech is everywhere. You don't have to be in California or be on the coast to be on the edge of technology. Anything tech doesn't have to be designed in California, and it isn't sustainable as well. Actually, many great things are happening in the Midwest. Indiana University had won a CIO award. That's about a decade ago already, for its top-notch digital library system and its IT infrastructure, making vast research material accessible. The award compared IT products and infrastructure across hundreds of other industries. Endless options to specialize in the field of AI. AI itself has many fields to pursue. Pattern recognitions, speech, voice objects, machine learning, autonomous decision-making, natural language processing, NLP, machine translation, and many more may be subdivided and specialized. Pattern recognition is a piece of cake for a toddler, recognizing a real fire truck while never seen it before but in pictures. But it is very difficult for machine to recognize the pattern. That's why humans have to prove themselves to computer that I am not robot to show off their pattern recognition skills. How do I know this is the best fit for me? You don't need to be an outlier or outsmart anyone. To pursue a study in AI, you need a good foundations as much as like any other fields you are to pursue. A good foundation would prepare you for the success in learning, such as solid foundation on general science and maths that prepares you for calculus and linear algebra. Prepare yourself to have a good idea of the limitations and capabilities of mechanical and electronic machines. You might not think of those in day-to-day jobs, but that theoretical knowledge would help time and again in thinking of the problems and crafting solutions with confidence. Like anything under the sun, to enjoy what you are doing, you have to be good at it. To be good at it, you have to have a knack for it. To have a knack for it, it's good to have a full grasp on foundational knowledge. In college, you may need to take same foundational and theoretical courses in computer science before specialize in an AI subfield. Specialization is the goal, but balance it by acquire a diverse wealth of knowledge. While taking STEM major, you can still explore arts and humanities subjects to offset the danger of a single-side knowledge. Being well-versed in both sides of knowledge is important since both science and social science have impact on the progress of humanity. It isn't uncommon for a student to major in STEM and minor social science. In the US, it is estimated 25% of the college students graduates with more than one major. I, for one, did double major in international studies and computer science. So I say go, have fun, take the challenge. Coding is a new literacy. Most of science and technical majors in college now require some programming courses. It becomes a necessity, even without a requirement. Data needs to be analyzed and manipulated to gain insight for research. A new literacy to read and write data in higher ed. Fluency in a programming language resembles fluency in a foreign language since programming language is technically a language to communicate not only with machine but also with fellow programmers. Programming is to logically organize idea for a solution. Coding is an extended form of writing. As a matter of fact, programming requires principally imagination, very little upfront infrastructure cost. Most computers, including smartphones, are connected to the supercomputer that can do heavy processing. To get one's feet wet, get involved in open source. Collaborative open source software creates opportunity for a true international collaboration. Open source technology encourages tinkering projects that a beginner can learn, grow, and contribute back. Contributing in open source creates opportunities for learning, networking, developing communication skill. Being able to articulate your idea clearly and succinctly, able to work with others in complex organization is a skill, carries a heavier weight than technical skills in professional environment. Those contributions would also serve as a concrete reference. GitHub profile is now a favorite over made-up resume. Lately, there is a big press of Boston Dynamic that a robot that can balance itself nearly like a living animal on terrains with loads or dance to the rhythm. Those are commercial projects with costly investment. For a college student, one can start with Raspberry Pi for a fun and useful projects with very little cost. Programming is easy. Programming is easy and fun. Designing scalable architecture to meet complex business workflow isn't. Occasionally, you may need to come up with a genius, clever solution to tackle tough problems while your teammates run out of idea. Programming requires logical, clear thinking, imagining possible scenario, and holding hypothesis before implementing it. Machine learning AI takes away the work of explicitly writing logic, but humans still need to monitor and train machines with instructions, programming them to program. Professional programmers have to consider accessibility and security than simply implementing logic. Most of the time, those necessary emphases eat up more time to build in an inclusive, scalable, and secure system. Standing on the shoulder of many giants. However, no technology is built from scratch, rather on top of each other. You usually don't need to develop consuming works of foundational tools to build a larger system. We can also participate and learn from a wealth of knowledge from other success and failure and adapt to your needs. Career prospect. Many opportunities abound for who can program well. So far, there isn't much big press on starving programmers. Rather, there's shortage of it. The trend will likely still be upward north in high demands as digital technology becoming the driving force of all businesses and organizations. AI for rebuilding Kawthoolei. Kawthoolei needs more builders who walk the walk. We can only talk about changes, yet change needs change makers, go-getters, capable of making changes at macro level. For the Karen people, we have talked about change. We've been fighting for it generation after generation. Now to actually go build for a change. The fight itself needs many hands and many materials. Making a change is often tedious, uncelebrated, and small scale, but it is behind the scene where the real change one wishes to see is happening. Asking for pity isn't sustainable, and it doesn't work to free us from suffering. Karen people, the long persecuted, has been enough characterized as victims. Constantly publishing the spreadsheet of our suffering is neither empowerment nor doesn't do justice that intended. International political order doesn't guarantee to be on the side of victims and losers. In fact, it is the opposite. A nation has to learn to stand up on its own feet. As much as we can ask Bayo to give us Kawthoolei, we can expect seemingly goodwill, wealthy organizations to build Kawthoolei for us. Some practical projects for Kawthoolei would be landmine clearing, autopilot drones, serving of all kinds, lightweight transportation in rugged terrains, security, territorial watch, IoT, supply chain and distribution. If we can afford, we subscribe to a satellite service and have our dedicated monitoring and communication system. For us, the Karen people, we have to roll our sleeve, wipe away our tears, and go make the change we want to see. Attempting to rebuild Kawthoolei with uninformed, indifferent, indisciplined individuals who spend most of their time in echo chamber could only render detrimental effects. As much as there is a need for a wise council of many that plans and strategizes well, we need people who are capable of executing well. Every effective system now utilizes digital technology. Rather than solely rely on human monitoring for defense, precision surveillance can detect unusual pattern of movement, whether it is belligerent or benign. A Kawthoolei commander in his command center can make an intelligent decision for early detection and early elimination. At security checkpoint, AI can help with face detection, recognition, and alert, rather than solely rely on manually checking authorized intelligence to perform precision strike by having intelligence of enemy movement. Do it for Kawthoolei if it isn't for you. There is a severe shortage of technocrats and technologists in Kawthoolei. Kawthoolei, the land is fertile and water is abundant, can be self-sufficient if we harness all the renewable energy and natural resources efficiently. For instance, many countries apply AI in agricultural work to be more predictable, more productive, less laborious, and more efficient harvest and distribution. So go learn the cutting edge and be a master of the unstoppable. Go make innovation. Go build Kawthoolei. Go make a better world for the left behind people and beyond. The views in this article are those of the author. This article was written in collaboration with Mangarbaw of UNO, University of Nebraska, Omaha. Saw Lahkbaw is a programmer by day, a community organizer by weekend, and a lifelong learner by birth.